Hey, welcome back to Real Driver's Garage. You can see Johnny hiding in the background back there. Behind me is my 67 GMC. Now, if you've seen other videos, it's been in the background of other videos. And I haven't really done a video on it yet. So, if you've seen the other videos, that means you've been watching my other videos. So, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Yeah, thank you. I really enjoy it. Today, we're doing some stuff on this. I've owned this truck. It looks a little tall because it's on jack stands. I'm not that short. I've owned the truck for 7 years, so it's August 2021. I bought it in August of 2014. It's gone through a lot of changes since then. Unfortunately haven't really... there are actually some videos on it from... that I kind of just did like new engine video and stuff like that. You can find it there. It'll be, this is there's a playlist for this truck, so if you want to watch some of the other stuff, please do. Anyway, I'm going to do some actual make the truck look better. I am not getting rid of my patina though, but we're going to get rid of some of the rust. So to catch you up, I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what's going on with this truck, show you what it looks like. So this is the 67 GMC. It's dark aqua poly is the name of the paint job. It's the original paint still on it. A lot of patina. What I did is the way it's kind of shiny. It wasn't always this shiny looking. I mean, it looks pretty good under the lights. It was pretty dull, and I've been like once a year I'll buff it out with. Mostly I've been using this 3M stuff that I had. This is the 3M rubbing compound. It was several days of work to get it to this, and then it just it goes pretty fast. I can usually do an update on it in about 2 hours, once a year. It takes about 2 hours to keep it upward. But it is a constant battle to keep it kind of shiny. So right now it's sitting on. Well, it's sitting on jack stands, but that's why. But it's Cooper Cobras. Those are American Racing Outlaw 2s. Those are 2s. The American Outlaw Racing 1s, or just American, don't have the holes. Those little bitty holes that are going all the way around. And there are 255 60s on the front and 295 50s on the back. Inside, and she is a long bed, and in the bed is a toolbox, which I just mostly carry, jack and tire iron and oil and stuff, because let's face it, these cabs don't have room for that. So that's a $25 junkyard score. I got a new lock for it on the other side. Repainted it. It was originally gray. I repainted it gray, but it looked more like primer, so I painted it white again. This is the original color. As you can see, people have slammed stuff into it by the dents down in front of it, but the white kind of hides it. But it keeps my crap dry. Inside, this is not the original interior. Those are Pontiac, Montana front seats. 2000 Pontiac Montana front seats. These are leather, at least they were. They have the armrest here, right? For those nice long road trips. They're really comfy. They fit the truck well. I took the headrests out to give me because they're actually holding the seat farther forward. Yes, if you've ever been in one of these 67 to 72s, you know they don't have a ton of leg room. So I don't even know how guys over 6 feet tall drive these things, but you can see the stick shift there. That is to an 833 OD for GM 4-speed. That means the fourth gear is overdrive. My stereo, that is a 1975 RCA CB radio I found in the salvage yard in a 1975 Blazer. Down here, the speakers in the doors, speakers in these kick panel, these little kick panel deals. These are actually out of like 93 to 2000 something S10 S10s. Behind the door panels are these, and they're riveted to the inner door post, and they're small and they fit almost any kind of kick panel that you got. Got those at the salvage yard. Those are $2 a piece. There's one over there. See? And they hold my 6-inch round, whatever those, I forgot what kind of speakers I got up front. Kickers, that's what they are. The console, 1991 Ford. Yep, it was so filthy when I got it. It was disgusting when I got it. I thought it was black. That's how, it was just gross. The cup holders were half filled with like this glue, goop. It was just hideous. And then inside was, I washed it out here. The crap I washed out of it killed the grass, that's for sure. Yeah, it was gross. Alright, let me go around the other side. Over here is the CB antenna mount, which the CB antenna is in there. The reason why it's not in there is because it hits the ceiling in the garage door when I come in and out. And I'm not really using the CB radio these days. It's just the original steering wheel, which I really like. It's got that kind of like turbine look in it. In the dash, this was a full gauge dash except for the tack. It didn't have a tack. But I added these as Sun Pros or Sun Pro Super Tax, and that's a vacuum / boost. And then there's no boost on the car right now. I just use it for vacuum gauge. Voltage gauge, which is died. And over there is the temp and oil pressure. Using the original gas gauge and the original speedometer. That switch there where the choke used to be, because in 1967 there used to be a choke over on this side, is the line lock. See? You might be able to hear the clicking of the line lock under the hood because it's a stick shift, and I suck at heel towing for burnouts. Still has the in-cab gas tank, though there's the carpet I have taken out. I have a carpet that's over there hiding underneath a bunch of crap. I took the carpet out because I just replaced the sitting unit. And it's a carpet that came out of this is the carpet that's in this car. The light gray carpet came out of a 1998 Suburban, along with the shoulder seat belts. Right, it's got shoulder seat belts, which and these are the, the ones that lock up when you, for under G-forces, when you slam on the brakes, they kind of lock up. They're safe, a lot safer than the lap belts. Okay. The original interior was kind of this taupey gray color. Somebody painted the doors actually like 1990s minivan teal, which is hideous. Thank God it's coming off on this one. Alright. Now, 67 72s, they all had the same body style. See? What separates the 67, even on a Chevy or GMC? Lack of side marker lamps. 1968 was a requirement to have a lot of side marker lamps, front and rear, which gives it kind of a cleaner look. I like them. Also, in 67, it still had a small back window. Now, I'm not positive, but I think you can get a big back window in 67 as an option. I know the small back window was an option in 68, and then you got the big one and you can get the window. Anyhow. Alright, so let's move under the hood. Yes, that's really important. What's under the hood is very, very important. Under the hood, This is a 383 stroker that I built. That's a 1969 Corvette 4-bolt main 350 block that I've had forever. It's the second time I built this engine. Yeah, this engine was originally in my 65 Impala for 25 years. Then I blew it up. Then I rebuilt it. Inside, talking about inside, it has probe forged pistons, 9-to-1 compression, 22cc, blueprint engines, forged I-beam rods. They're 5.7 inch. Look at that. I got an echo. Hello. Hello. I got an echo off my hood. Hello. Anyway.
Well, it doesn't answer you back if you are.
So back to forged. There's the forged rods that they use in their industrial engines. Aluminum water pump. The crankshaft's a 1976 dated original 400 crank. I don't know what came out of cast. Camshaft, comp cams. I'm gonna back up. Comp cams. Extreme energy hydraulic roller. They're XR 288 HR, which is 288, 292 advertised duration, 236, 242 duration at 50 thousandths, and 520, 540 lift. It's a hydraulic roller. Comp cams, Pro Magnum roller rockers underneath those dusty valve covers. That is an Edelbrock Victor Jr., which I bought used in a swap meet when I lived in California. The Pomona swap meet. Underneath that is a Holley 750 vacuum secondary electric choke 0-80508S or something like that. The shiny version. What else do I have under here? Those are the headers are Flotex afterburners, and I'll show you why they call them afterburners when we get underneath the truck. It's got disc brakes on it. That's this is just your typical like Chevelle era, early Chevelle master cylinder. That's the original power booster. Goes into, this is the line lock, Summit Racing line lock, and then there's a Summit Racing adjustable rear proportioning valve. So you can turn it all the way in and not have any rear brakes at all, which is what I did wrong. And then, or you can turn it all the way out, and then you could practice your Dukes of Hazzard tricks on dirt roads or in the snow. That is a early 90s S10 windshield washer pump, windshield washer tank with the pump. That's another junkyard score. 100 amp, 2-wire alternator, and behind there is an HEI, which I had to build myself out of a bunch of pieces, and then Excel plugs. The original. This is a Harrison 4-core radiator that was in the truck when I bought it 7 years ago. That is a Blueprint Engines fuel pump down there that they sell with their engines. If you're wondering how I got all these Blueprint parts, is I used to work for them. And the heads. Those are Blueprint Engines aluminum heads. They are their 195cc heads. You can buy those heads brand new for like $900. They do really good for this kind of a build. The engine dyno tested at 447 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, and it made 448 foot-pounds of torque at 4,200 RPM. So that's what it dyno tested out. I might actually, because it's got 9-to-1 compression and it's forged, it may get boost. It may get a little boost. Not a lot. Stock block, stock crank. I'm not going crazy. Don't expect 4-digit numbers out of a horsepower. No. Maybe a 6 psi boost, like 600 horse.
Get you close, I'm sure.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Doesn't have traction with 450 horsepower. It's not going to have traction. Alright. Underneath. Let me jump down and crawl underneath the truck. Okay, underneath, there's the giant sway bar, the front one. These trucks don't come with sway bars normally. It's got CPP disc brakes, CPP 3-inch drop springs on the front. And I'm still using the original A-arms. Moog, replacement steering and all that's all been replaced. The A-arms, when they call them kingpins, those have been all replaced. And then you can see kind of the afterburner design of these headers. They got these kind of crazy looking collectors. On this side, on the passenger side, I got this one pipe that comes in to the collector from below. All that does is get dragged on everything. And then the other one has an extra pipe that comes in from the top, halfway down the collector. I don't know, supposed to be some sort of design. Yeah, I don't know, I couldn't tell you if it makes any power or not, but anyway, it works. So then they fit the truck, and you can get spark plugs on, and the plug wires don't burn on the headers. So with these heads, I did get CPP aluminum adjusting sleeves for the tie rods. And the disc brakes, these are CPP kit, but they're just more or less, they're all 73 to 87 kit. They're sitting on a 2-inch drop spindle. So what I said are they're 2-inch drop spindle and 1-inch drop springs. That's right, 1-inch drop springs. Excuse me, sorry about that. So that gives me a 3-inch total drop on the front, though this truck had 1-ton springs on it for some reason when I bought it. And it had 1-ton springs on it, rode like a cement truck. And let me move back here, hang on a second. Here you can get a better view of the crazy, the afterburners, different idea on collectors. So 3 pipes go in the front of the collector, and 1 pipe goes in the bottom or the top. Like I say, the jury's still out on whether or not that's any good or makes a better design, or more horsepower, more torque. That's an old liquid scatter shield going way back. I bought it at a swap meet in Pomona years and years ago. It wasn't my 65 Impala. Now the 65 Impala has one from it's got one from it's a Quick Time, which is still liquid. Holly. That's the 833 OD 4-speed there. Alright. Still using the original Hurst shifter that came with these in the 80s. These came in 80s pickup trucks for the most part. They have the same gear ratio as the 700R4. 306 first gear, 182 1-to-1, and 0.74 overdrive. These are not granny low 4-speeds. It did this, even though this truck did originally come with an SM 420 granny low 4-speed. It has 2.5-inch exhaust going back to, those are stainless steel mufflers from Summit Racing, their brand. Kind of like I don't know, like a walker or something. I got a rear U-joint loop, and I got a front one just in case. It's kind of, I welded these in using angle iron. You can see the angle iron sticking out the top, and then it's welded right there on the bottom, so I can cut these off if I want to get them out at any one time. This truck is a veteran of Rocky Mountain Race Week of 2018 and 2020. No, it was not fast. It was slow. Those are CPP drop truck shocks, front and rear. And let me get to the rear. Hang on a second. Let me move. Here we are at the rear of the truck. That is the CPP rear sway bar. And the rear end, it was originally a 354 geared Dana 44 that I broke on 2018 Rocky Mountain Race Week. It lost a tooth on there, though I didn't know it happened at the time. And then like November after 2018 Rocky Mountain Race Week, I broke like 3 or 4 more teeth off. So this is a 12 bolt out of a 72 Suburban 4x4 that I found in the junkyard. 373 posi. Got lucky on that. If you're thinking about taking one of these out of a 4x4 on your leaf spring truck, this is a leaf spring truck, and throwing it into a 2-wheel drive, you're going to have to move the spring perches, because for some reason the spring perches on a 4-wheel drive are a little further in. I think they have different hangers too on the frame, but I'm not positive, and the shocks are a different angle as well. There's some changes, but it's no big deal if you can weld. I just paid to have it done. It didn't cost me very much. What else? Oh, the leaf springs, those are CPPs as well, and those are 4-inch drop leaf springs. They're like a heavy duty. And I've had 1,500 pounds in the back of this lowered truck with no problem whatsoever. 1,500 pounds of rock in this truck, and it didn't seem to care. You sure felt it, but it handled the weight. And this is a half-ton truck, so I came back. I think it's happier if I keep it down to like 1,200 max. So that's what I would do if I were you. All right, now to move on to why the truck is on jack stands. So this is why we're here. Now, if you've ever been around these 67 to 72s, you know that the rockers were just really susceptible to rust. And these are pretty much gone. I mean, you can see all the way through. See? This one's pretty much just in the rocker and name only anymore. And the cab corners. And then let me show you. Hang on a second, I'm sorry. Then the cab mounts. See, there's the cab mount there, and it goes across here, and it's got a little bit of rust here, which is not bad considering I've seen a lot worse. And the front one has a little more rust, as you can see. But the floor pans are pretty solid. The frame is very solid. And whatever this brace does is solid. So what I'm doing is I'm taking it into the body shop I work at, and we're gonna fix this. Yep, got cab corners. I'm gonna probably patch the bottom of the fenders too, and then try to see if we can keep the look. I don't know if we can. We'll see what happens. We're going to give it a shot. Alright, let me open the door. Well, up here it looks solid, but this is somebody made this plate here. And this is a homemade sill plate, which I got to replace. Let me see, there's some like 10 here. So today we're just removing the interior out of the truck so I can take it in, because it's all in the way if you're going to redo the floors and the rockers. Cutting and welding, carpet interior catches fire. And we'll take the gas tank out when I get to work. On with the show. Here. And you can see the wires here. The floor on this side, on the outer edge, was pretty bad, though. The rest of the middle floor is okay. Toe board, I think, is okay on this side. The other side, however, had more rust than I expected. And all that all peeled out of there with the carpet. You see the concrete down there. I knew it had rust on the edges, but dang, as is expected, the old rust worm got me more than I expected. You can see the rockers are kind of bad here. And then down there is really, this is where my passengers get hit with rocks randomly in the back of the arm. And I go, what was that? See it all the way down to the ground. And then the rest of the floor. See, this is originally a 4-speed floorboard because it has a bolt-in trans hump, and there was the original where the original 4-speed was at. That's in good shape, except for where I cut the hole out, and I need to do a better patch job. So when I'm doing the floorboards, I'm going to actually patch that correctly. It's a tiny bit louder in here with no carpet and no shifter boot. And it has an exhaust leak I can hear now. That's nice. On in a couple hours yesterday, on Friday, I got the bed off the truck. You can see, frame looks fine. The truck is actually still a runner, believe it or not. Still drivable. So it won't be after tomorrow because I gotta pull the cab off the frame too to fix the rust and the rockers and such. So there's like the rust in the rockers and the rust in the floor. See if I can get the door open. There's the rust in the floor. So we're gonna pull the cab off the frame. So that means disconnecting the brakes, disconnecting the steering column, disconnecting the electrical. I gotta figure out what I did here. This is just a hose for the windshield washer, which is down there, which is about to fall out. Put that a little further in the fender. There we go. But pull the entire front clip off of it today. And the bed. So the bed's over here on a stand. There's a 60-inch Chevelle we're working on too. 396 4-speed. So yeah, the fenders, the bed, the cab, the hood. There's the hood. Some of the other bits and pieces. The box full of bolts. So it's on a rolling, like on a rolling cart, so we can move it around, get it out of the way when we need to. Rebel Driver's Garage, and I got an update on my truck. It's been a while. It's been about 2 weeks since we worked on it last. Other things in the shop have been getting done, like the 69 Chevelle SS over here. We're just finished up for a customer. We're starting on the 64 GTO, and there's more stuff over in the showroom. So let me show you what's going on with this. Hang on a second. Okay, so the driver's side here, I'm going to back up, see? We got new rocker panels in, inner and outer. Floor pan is in. They did the kick panel, part of the kick panel down here at the bottom. This piece here, which holds the door hinges and bolts. You can see across the rocker panel. And then the cab corner was welded on. We haven't done any of the body work on this side yet, so we just cleaned up the welds on the outside. And we're going to go around over here, and we got the rockers in and outer cut out. You can see there's what's left of the passenger side rocker panel, not a lot left of it. And that's a cab corner, which is missing, so we still got to weld that in. And there's the new rockers, inner and outer. Tack welded in, I think. For right now, he's still got to do some fitting. He hasn't fitted this inner to the floor yet. He just put in the floor yesterday. And in order to do all this, you can see this brace here that goes across the door all the way up to the top. This is so you can cut all the support structure out, because the inner and outer rockers are support structure. And then there's one that goes across here. There's another support rod that we put in, steel, 1x1 square tubing. That way the cab doesn't tweak when you cut all that support structure out, and the door jamb doesn't change. So, and the first thing that you do is you make sure that the door fits. So you work on the door gaps. I'm not worrying about perfect door gaps on this thing, because we would really have to cut up the door and make it perfect. And this is not a show truck. This is a truck I use. All I'm really interested in is having a truck that doesn't have giant holes in it, and rust, and so that's what we're working on. Oh, down here is, he also got the kick panel in, and this piece, which I can never remember what that piece is called. All right, so my job today is to grind all these welds down on the floor in here. So I came in on a Saturday to do that. You want to see it also we're working on? Okay, hang on a second. I'll show you some of the stuff we're working on. 52 Chevy pickup truck. It's currently we just patching up some of the floor and sandblasting the floor bed, and putting in some patches in the cabs in here. Here's the new chassis for that 52 Chevy. It was sitting on an S10 chassis that was all bent out. The new wood for the bed. There's the bed over there. And then the old wood lying on the floor underneath of it. And see, there's no right there. We're going to reuse the stainless steel. I think it looks pretty good. Like I say, we just finished this 69 Chevelle SS 396 4-speed car for a customer, and it's going to go home next week. We did the body was already painted when we got it. New top, new interior. The engine was rebuilt, but it was not very pretty, so we pulled the entire body off the frame, rebuilt the entire suspension, detailed the frame and the engine and transmission, and put it all back in. And the customer had us add things like he wanted a Suntac like he had in high school and that kind of stuff. So, and that's that pearl white interior with black carpeting. In the paint booth, 68 Dodge Charger. It's getting some touch-ups on the paint job we just did. We cleared the fender because we had a couple issues with the clear and the door on the other side. And this is B5 blue. Isn't that gorgeous? I love B5 blue on a Dodge Charger. This is a Dodge Coronet, 68 Dodge Coronet. And there we go. And then we cleared this door. So did all that Saturday. Yesterday, Friday. Well, I'll get a video of that when we get her out of here and unwrapped. And look what we got in here. This is the showroom side. That is a chassis for a 69 Chevelle SS convertible. 396 4-speed. The engine's been rebuilt. Transmission's been rebuilt. And we just set it on the... Detail the rest of the chassis, engine. We're getting some pieces still for it. The chassis all been rebuilt, as you can tell. See the boxing over there. All right, all that boxing in the frame, that's not there on a coupe. That's only there on the convertibles. We're still waiting on sheet metal in order to be able to do the body. Over here is a 68 Olds 442 convertible awaiting a frame off. Now I guess you're saying, why does that need a frame off? Well, the customer wants one. So it was painted in 1994. It's not the correct red, but he wants to redo it, even though the body is beautiful. The only thing we've found is a couple of chips here and there. Like there's a chip there. I gotta be careful. There's the glass for the 69 Mach 1. But you want to see the chassis needs to be redone. The chassis and the engine, they do show 105,000 miles, which this car has. So above it, that is a 1956 Ford Fairlane with the glass roof. One of 800. This one is black and white. We're going to be working on this one pretty soon. We have the engine over there in the corner and a transmission around here somewhere. The Ford-O-Matic. We're going to probably, and the customer's supposed to bring in a bunch of parts in order for it to make it run and drive. Here is a 69 Mach 1 and Calypso Coral. Finally getting pretty close to being done. This one needed a lot of metal work. And I'll show you what we got for a new engine for it. Blueprint engines. Ford 408. This one made 465 horsepower, 502 foot-pounds of torque. Wow. Yep. You can get one of these from Blueprint Engines. Over here, 69 Camaro. Believe it or not, this car was painted in 2005 and just sat in storage. That's it. Has a new engine in it. It's just a 350 with a turbo 350. We got to do the interior in it still. The customer chose black and white houndstooth, which is really cool. And then this one here in this corner, a 1971 Chevelle SS 454 convertible. This one's got a lot of options. That's been, I think the customer added all the options. 454 air conditioning, power windows, power locks, tilt wheel, dual sport mirrors. I think he was power top even. This guy has added a ton of power options to this. And new dual GT style wheel he wanted for it. We're waiting on a couple of things. We just got the convertible done. As you can see, it's a brand new convertible top. Now we got to adjust all the glass to fit the convertible top. And then we can continue putting the interior in. There's the seats for it over there. Okay. Well, that's what we got going on here. As you can see. Now I'll give you more updates on my truck as they come along. It's kind of a slow process. Unfortunately, my truck is not going to look good as like these, but it's still be a driver. I wanted to keep the patina as much as possible for now until I can afford to really do a repaint on it correctly. So, have a great day. Okay, got the welds ground down. Back there. Across the floor. All done. I don't know what this rag is for, but anyway. On the side, I'm not making it look like show quality or anything. It's going to be covered in carpet, and this is not exactly a show truck, so. But looks all pretty good. Okay, this is I'm gonna stop it here until I can get another update on it. So thanks a lot for watching. If you made it this far, please like, subscribe, hit the little notification bell so we can continue watching these. Thank you very much for paying attention. Hope you're enjoying it. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, let me know. Just put them in the comments. That's what they're there for. I answer almost every comment. So thanks a lot.